It's a sad truth that some people in our lives enjoy hurting others and making things difficult. Just think, you could be trusting someone and then finding out that they are the cause of your problems. Today we're going to talk in depth about a subject that is important to us. It's both interesting and scary to know how to tell if someone is bad, whether it's a coworker, a friend, or even a family member. These people are skilled at lying and hiding their true nature behind charm and confidence. Today we're not just looking into this dark side of human behavior because we're interested. These signs can change your life. The Stoics thought that what you think has power and that you should live your life based on reason and virtue. By recognizing and understanding these negative traits, we can protect our peace of mind and build better relationships while still following the Stoic principles of wisdom and self-control. Stay with us as we reveal 5 signs that someone is bad. Not only will you be better able to spot these behaviors by the end of this video, but you'll also have learned useful ways to protect your mental health and well-being. If you like what we're doing here, please hit the subscribe button. Also, don't skip any parts of the video. You won't want to miss the bonus section where I'll share a useful way to set firm boundaries with these people. Let's embark on this journey of self-awareness and resilience together. When we talk about people who seem charming and charismatic, at first, it's important to remember that appearances can be deceiving. These individuals often have a way of lighting up a room, making everyone around them feel special and valued. They know exactly what to say to make you feel like you've just made a new best friend. At first glance, they seem like the perfect person, witty, engaging, and seemingly interested in your life. It's easy to get swept up in their charm thinking you found someone truly special. However, the Stoics teach us to look beyond the surface and seek the truth through rational thought and observation over time. You might start to notice little cracks in their facade. Maybe they always need to be the center of attention, overshadowing others in social settings. They might talk over you, interrupt you, or even subtly put you down in front of others. These aren't just quirks or signs of an extroverted personality. They're red flags. To properly understand these actions, the Stoics said we should look at them without being distracted by their charm at first. Imagine going to a party where one person is the life of the party, telling jokes and captivating the crowd. At first, it's fun to be around them, but as the night goes on, you realize they're controlling every conversation by making it about themselves. If you try to talk about your life, they quickly change the subject to them. This is where the Stoic principle of apatheia comes in handy. By staying emotionally stable, you can see through their charming exterior and see how self-centered they really are. It's also important to watch how they react when things don't go their way. Stoic wisdom says that someone who is truly kind and caring will deal with disappointments and disagreements with grace and understanding. On the other hand, someone who is just pretending to be kind and caring might quickly become angry or defensive. They might lash out or try to control the situation again. Such responses are clear signs of not having good character. Marcus Aurelius tells us to be careful of people who show signs of anger and manipulation, because these are not the traits of a good and rational person. The important thing is to be patient and trust your gut. The Stoics thought that observing things carefully was important, and that people shouldn't decide quickly based on first impressions. Epictetus said we should carefully consider the character of the people we let into our inner circle. If someone seems too good to be true, give yourself time to watch how they treat others, especially when they think no one is watching. A person's true character shows when they aren't trying to impress others. Remember that not everyone who seems charming and charismatic has good intentions. Some people use their charm to trick others. You can avoid falling for a fake persona by staying grounded and aware. If you stick to the Stoic principles of knowledge and discernment, you'll be better able to handle these tricky social situations. Lack of understanding is another important sign to keep an eye out for. To connect deeply with those around us, to offer support when it's needed, and to build meaningful relationships, we need to be able to understand and share their feelings. However, there are people who seem to completely lack this essential human trait. They don't care how their actions or words affect others, and this can have a devastating effect on those around them. The Stoics thought that kindness and understanding were 2 of the most important qualities. Marcus Aurelius often talked about how people are connected and how we should care about each other's well-being as a part of our own. When we meet someone who clearly doesn't care about other people's feelings, it's a big red flag. For example, if you're telling a friend something very personal and hoping for some comfort or understanding, and instead of showing genuine concern, they brush off your feelings or even make fun of your vulnerability, that's a big red flag. This lack of empathy can make you feel alone and confused. It's not just that they aren't there for you when things are bad. They also don't share in your happiness or celebrate your successes. Someone who doesn't care about you won't cheer for your successes. They might even hurt them or take the praise for themselves. If you have a boss who pushes their employees to the edge and doesn't care about their well-being, they might make them work long hours without paying them enough, ignore their requests for time off, or criticize them in public in a way that is meant to shame them instead of help them. This makes the workplace toxic because people feel undervalued and stressed. In these kinds of scenarios, the Stoics would tell us to keep our inner peace and honesty, realizing that other people's lack of empathy is a sign of their character, not ours. Also, that lack of empathy can lead to more harmful actions. If someone can't relate to others, they might do mean things or actually hurt others without feeling bad about it. They might lie, cheat, or even hurt others physically without giving it a thought. Seneca was a philosopher who taught that our deeds should always show how good we are on the inside. If someone doesn't have empathy, they're not connected to these values on a deep level. A lack of empathy can also be seen in smaller, more everyday interactions. For example, someone who constantly cuts people off to talk about themselves, doesn't seem to care about what others have to say, or doesn't offer help when it's clearly needed, may seem like a minor annoyance at first, but their actions reveal a deeper problem. The Stoics taught us to be aware of small signs that reveal a person's true nature. If you're dealing with someone who consistently lacks empathy, you should set boundaries to protect your own mental and emotional health. The Stoics believed that we should take care of our own health and not let other people's negativity upset us. You have the right to distance yourself from people who drain your energy and bring you down. Another major sign of an evil person is manipulation. This is when someone lies or uses sneaky methods to control or influence others to get what they want. It's a subtle and often insidious behavior that can be very harmful to the people who are manipulated. People who are good at manipulating others know how to twist situations so that you question reality and bend your will to fit their needs. This can make you feel confused, helpless, and unsure of your own decisions. From a Stoic point of view, let's talk about trickery. Thinking clearly and seeing things as they really are were important to the Stoics. They taught that our perceptions should be based on reality and that we should stick to our principles no matter what. When someone manipulates you, they are trying to cloud your perception and distort reality, which makes it hard for you to stick to these Stoic ideals. Gaslighting is a common form of manipulation. If the manipulator wants you to doubt your own memory, sanity, or memory of certain events, they might deny that they happened or twist your words and actions to make you feel guilty. For example, if you tell a friend about something hurtful they said, they might say you're being too sensitive or misremembering the situation instead of admitting it. This can hurt your confidence and make you rely on the manipulator's version of reality. They are also very good at playing the victim. They might make you feel guilty into doing things you don't want to do by making you feel responsible for their happiness or well-being. You may have a friend who always complains about their problems and expects you to drop everything to help them, but they're never there for you in return. They may say things like, "If you were really my friend, you'd do this for me," making you feel like you have to comply. The Stoics, especially Epictetus, stress how important it is to know what we can and cannot control. For example, we can't change other people's actions or emotions. We can only change how we react to them. Think about how a manipulator might use flattery or charm to get what they want. At first, it may feel good when someone compliments you and makes you feel special, but over time, you may notice that their praise comes with conditions. For example, they may compliment you when they want something from you, or when they need you to do something for them. This can make you feel like you owe them something or that you need to live up to their standards to keep their approval. The Stoics would tell us that real virtue and self-worth come from inside, not from other people's judgments. Isolation is another form of manipulation. Someone who is manipulative might try to cut you off from your family and friends, saying things like, "Your family doesn't get you like I do," or "Your friends don't really care about you." This makes it easier for them to control you because you become more dependent on them for support and approval. The Stoics thought it was important to have strong, helpful ties with other people. Realizing that we are social creatures who do best in groups, being alone goes against these ideas because it weakens our support system and makes us easier to trick. Bad people also use financial manipulation. They might borrow money and never pay it back, or they might control your finances to make you less independent. For example, a partner might insist on managing all the money in the relationship, which means you have to ask permission to spend any money. Can make it hard to leave the relationship or stand up for yourself. The Stoics would tell us to seek self-sufficiency and freedom so that we are not too affected or controlled by other people. It can be hard to spot manipulation for what it is, especially if you care about the person doing it. The Stoics teach us to be alert and wise in order to see things clearly and to act with honesty. If you think someone is manipulating you, take a step back and look at the situation objectively. Are they always putting their own needs before yours? Do they make you feel guilty or unsure of yourself? Are they trying to control your life or cut you off from other people? You should be strong with people who try to control you and stand your ground. Be clear and firm about what you will and will not put up with. Remember that you have the right to your own thoughts, feelings, and actions. However, the Stoics tell us that we can only control how we react to other people's actions. By staying strong and clear inside, we can protect ourselves from the harmful effects of manipulation and stay true to our values. One of the clearest signs that someone is bad is that they are controlling. This isn't just about personal tastes or habits. It's about someone who wants to control every part of your life, leaving you with little room to make your own choices and be independent. People who are controlling often act concerned or caring when they really want power and control. The Stoics, who valued personal freedom and self-control, would see this behavior as fundamentally opposed to living a good life. For example, you might have a friend who insists on always choosing where you go and what you do together. At first, it might seem harmless, but over time you start to realize that your choices and opinions are consistently ignored or overwritten. They might say things like, "I know what's best for us," or "You'll have more fun if you just listen to me." It's not about making decisions together. It's about one person forcing their will on another. In relationships, controlling behavior can get even worse. A partner could follow you around, demand to know what you're doing all the time, and even tell you who you can and can't see. They could look through your phone, read your messages, or demand to know all of your passwords. Being watched and micromanaged in this way can make you feel trapped and anxious because you have to walk on eggshells all the time to avoid disagreement. The Stoics, especially Epictetus, stress how important it is to keep your own inner freedom and independence, no matter what forces are coming from the outside. Control can also look like manipulating your money. For example, a controlling partner or family member might make all of your financial choices, giving you money when they want and keeping you dependent on them. They might say, "I handle the money because you're bad with money," or "It's easier if I just take care of everything." This can take away your financial freedom and make it hard to leave the relationship or stand up for yourself. The Stoics thought that everyone should be able to take care of their own needs and resources, wisely seeing power over money as a form of slavery that needs to be fought. Isolation is another sign of controlling behavior. Someone who is controlling might try to cut you off from friends and family, saying that they're the only one who really understands or cares about you. They might also criticize your loved ones, saying things like, "Your friends don't really care about you," or "Your family is toxic." Over time, you might become more and more alone, relying only on the controlling person for support and company. The Stoics know how important community and good ties are. As the Stoics, especially Seneca, taught, we should face our fears and not let others scare us into submission. Controlling people often use threats and intimidation to keep their power. They might say they will leave you, hurt themselves, or even hurt you if you don't do what they want. This creates an atmosphere of fear and anxiety that makes it hard to think clearly or make decisions that are best for you. Truly brave and smart people stand firm against threats like these and take back control of their lives. It's important to know that controlling behavior is more than just wanting things done a certain way. It's about undermining your ability to make your own decisions and live your own life. The Stoics would tell us to see these behaviors for what they are, an attack on our autonomy and a violation of our personal freedom. By staying true to our values and keeping our inner strength, we can resist the influence of controlling people and reclaim our right to live freely. If you're dealing with someone who is controlling, it's important to set firm boundaries and make your independence known. Make it clear what you need and what you can't do, and don't be afraid to get help from people who understand. Remember that the Stoics taught us that we can't control other people, but we can control our own reactions and choices. By staying true to our values and valuing our own independence, we can protect ourselves from the negative effects of controlling behavior and live more authentic, fulfilling lives. Another clear sign of someone who is bad is pathological lying. This is different from the occasional white lie that most people tell. Pathological liars constantly lie, often for no apparent reason. They make up stories, change facts, and distort reality to suit their own needs or to get an edge over others. This behavior can be very harmful to relationships, breaking trust, and creating a web of lies that is hard to untangle. The Stoics believed that honesty was the foundation of a good life, and that lying was a fundamental betrayal of one's character. Marcus Aurelius stressed, "To live in harmony with nature, our actions must be in line with truth and reason. When someone lies pathologically, they are living against these principles and creating a false world that only helps themselves." Lying that is harmful can look like many things. It might start with small lies that don't seem harmful, like making up details about a story to make themselves look better or more interesting. But over time, these lies can get worse, covering up mistakes or wrongdoings and using others to get what they want. A pathological liar might say they've done things they haven't, take credit for other people's work, or make up stories about their past to get sympathy or admiration. This constant dishonesty creates a skewed view of reality, where you can't be sure what's real and what's made up. Think about how a pathological liar might act at work. They might lie about their qualifications, exaggerate how much they contribute to projects, or spread rumors about coworkers to hurt them. This can lead to a dangerous situation where people don't trust each other and are always on edge, not sure who to believe. The Stoics said that we should stay true to ourselves and not let the dishonest actions of others change our minds. Epictetus said that we should only worry about the things we can control, like our own thoughts and actions, and not think about how dishonest people are around us in our daily lives. Even worse is pathological lying. Imagine being with someone who lies all the time about where they are, their past, or how they feel. This kind of behavior can make you feel unsafe. If you're worried and always asking what you think, you might start to doubt your memory or your gut feelings. This is exactly what the liar wants. They love making you confused and unstable so they can keep you off balance, so they can stay in charge. When other people try to trick you, the Stoics would tell you to trust your own judgment. Seneca taught that real peace comes from inside, and we shouldn't let other people's lies upset our inner peace. Unfortunately, pathological liars can be very convincing when they tell lies. They can be so sure of themselves and give such detailed accounts that it's hard not to believe them. They may also mix lies with the truth, making it even harder to tell what's real. This is where the Stoic principle of vigilance comes into play. We must stay alert and skeptical, not accepting things at face value, but instead looking for the truth through careful thought and evidence. When someone lies to you, watch to see what they do next. Do they get defensive or angry? Do they try to blame you instead of them? Otherwise, do they give a good reason that makes sense? An honest person will own up to their mistakes and work to fix them, even if it means adding another layer of lies. A pathological liar, on the other hand, will keep telling lies over and over again. Some people tell even more complicated lies. The Stoics say that when people act in this way we should stay calm and sensible, seeing it for what it is and not letting it upset us. You should also think about the long-term effects of pathological lying. Over time, it can destroy the trust that is the basis of any relationship. It's very hard to rebuild trust, and you might become suspicious all the time, wondering if you're being lied to again. This can create a harmful cycle of mistrust and anger. The Stoics thought it was important to have strong, honest relationships based on respect and understanding for each other. Whenever you're around an obsessive liar, you have to choose whether it's worth the effort to rebuild trust or whether it's better to stay away from them. Setting clear boundaries is important to protect your mental and emotional health if you're involved with a pathological liar. The Stoics said to stay true to our own values and principles and not let the lies of others bring us down. Be clear about what you will and will not tolerate, and don't be afraid to walk away from a relationship or situation that is based on lies. Remember that your peace of mind and integrity are more important than keeping a connection with someone who lies to you all the time. From these bad habits while keeping your peace and being honest? One of the most important skills you can learn to deal with difficult or toxic people is how to set limits. Setting limits in your relationships means being clear about what you will and will not put up with. They are important for your mental, emotional, and even physical health. Setting boundaries is an important part of living a good life, according to the Stoics, who stress the importance of honesty and inner peace. First and foremost, it's important to understand that setting boundaries is not the same as being mean or harsh. It's about respecting yourself and making sure that others do the same. The Stoics thought that we should respect ourselves and live in harmony with our true nature. Drawing clear lines between yourself and others is a good way to protect yourself and have better relationships with others. Setting boundaries requires being clear about what behaviors you will not accept and communicating this in a strong and direct way. For example, if you have a friend who constantly puts you down or insults you, you could say, "I appreciate our friendship, but I won't tolerate being spoken to in a disrespectful manner. If this continues, I will have to distance myself." This is a direct approach that leaves no room for interpretation according to Stoic principles. This kind of clear communication helps keep relationships in order and respectful. Consistency is also an important part of having boundaries. You can't just set limits once and expect people to follow them without being reminded. Stoics, especially Epictetus, stress the importance of discipline and persistence. By consistently upholding your boundaries, you show others how to treat you and show them how to respect yourself. If someone repeatedly crosses your boundaries, it's a clear sign that they don't respect you or your limits, and it may be time to reevaluate the relationship. It's also important to remember that setting boundaries is not a one-time thing. As relationships change, so may your boundaries. For example, at work, you might need to set limits on your availability and workload to avoid burnout. You could say this to a coworker or boss: "I'm happy to help with this project, but I can't take on any extra work on top of what I already have to do." The Stoics said that we should balance our responsibilities and not take on too much, which would hurt our health. One of the hardest things about setting boundaries is dealing with the pushback or resistance you might face. People who are used to getting their way, especially those who are controlling or manipulative, might not like your newfound assertiveness. They might get angry, feel guilty, or even try to bring down your confidence. The Stoics teach us to keep our cool and keep going when things get tough. Marcus Aurelius talked about how important it is to stay calm and not let other people's bad feelings affect you when you face resistance. Remember that your limits are important for your health and stay firm. Setting boundaries can be hard, like separating yourself from people you don't want to be around or ending relationships that are unhealthy or toxic. This can be painful, but it's necessary to protect your mental and emotional health. The Stoics would remind us that our first duty is to our own virtue and well-being. Seneca often talked about how important it is to be selective about the people we hang out with because they can have a big effect on our character and happiness. He said that people who constantly cross your boundaries should be kept away from you. You are saying a lot about your self-worth and your desire to live a good life. It can also help to get support from other people when you set limits. This could mean telling trusted friends, family, or a doctor about your problems and getting their advice and support. Sharing your successes and failures with having boundaries can help you see things more clearly and make you more determined. The Stoics valued society and the help of people who shared their beliefs. Marcus Aurelius often thought about how people are connected and how important it is to help each other. He said that by leaning on your support network, you can find the strength to stand up for yourself and your health. It's also important to take care of yourself when setting and maintaining boundaries. The Stoics thought that taking care of oneself was an important part of living a good life. This meant doing things that made you happy and relaxed, as well as taking care of your physical and mental health. Epictetus, for example, said that we should take care of our own health so that we can help others and do our jobs well. By making self-care a priority, you send the message that your health is important and deserves protection. Remember that setting boundaries is a form of self-love and self-respect. It's about recognizing your own worth and not letting others take it away. The Stoics teach us that our worth is not based on what other people think of us, but on our own actions and honesty. If you set and stick to limits, you are living by these ideas and building a life of peace, virtue, and strength. Remember that you should always protect your peace and honor, no matter who tries to hurt them. Setting limits isn't just a way to protect yourself. It's also a statement of your self-worth and resolve to live a good life. Thanks for visiting me today and being a part of Stoic Journal. If you thought this was helpful, click on one of the movies on the screen to learn more. Stay strong, smart, and true to yourself.